Acknowledge all First Nations communities who have significantly contributed to the life of our city. Members of the gallery, in the unlikely event of an emergency or disruption, we may be required to take action to ensure the safety of attendees. Please follow the directions issued by Council staff, and thank you for your understanding and cooperation. As you will notice, we are in a very different world now with the health crisis that we are facing, so this meeting has been set up in the Town Hall instead to give us all more space and enable the 2-metre rule to be observed. Councillors and officers in attendance, I would like to introduce our councillors in attendance tonight. Deputy Mayor Councillor Oscar Yildiz, Councillor John Kavanagh and Councillor Dale Martin, and I believe Councillor Helen Davidson is on her way. So there's no apologies. Are there any interests or conflicts of interests, councillors, to declare? No. There being none, I'll move on to hearing of submissions to the proposal to sell part of John Pascoe Faulkner Reserve to Telstra for the purpose of the communications facility and shelter equipment. Tonight's meeting is an opportunity for the submitters who have requested to speak in support of their submission in relation to the proposal to lease part of John Pascoe Faulkner Reserve to Telstra for the purpose of telecommunications facilities and shelter equipment at 1A Francis Street, Oak Park. We have 3 people who have indicated they would like to speak tonight, and welcome. Before we start, I will outline the process. Tonight's meeting is not for us to make a decision. The purpose tonight is for us to hear from you and get a deeper understanding from you about what the important considerations are in making our future decision. Councillors have been provided each with speakers' individual submissions, so you've had an opportunity to review the points made. Please speak to the issues you have raised in your written submission and build on them as much as you can tonight. Each submitter will be invited to speak for around 3 to 4 minutes. I do have discretion as the chair to extend that if I think it is important to do so. We may ask questions, councillors may ask questions of clarification to help us understand where you are coming from in the points you are making. I would now like to invite the first submitter, Melissa Buckingham. Melissa, please come forward. Thank you.
Good evening, councillors.
Good evening.
My name is Melissa Buckingham and I am a resident of Moreland City for the past 11 years and a mother of 1. I chose to live in Oak Park due to the close proximity to nature and the small local community that really cares about each other. There are a few points that I would like to make to supplement my written submission. 1. The community consultation process is flawed. Regarding this specific proposal, Council conducted a flawed, very brief community consultation. Not all residents in the nearby area of the reserve are aware of the proposal. The letterbox drop missed many houses and there was no signage up in the proposed area of the park, and the letter that was distributed mentioned nothing about 5G technology, just about the financial gain to Council from leasing the land. The fact that Council is considering installing 5G technology within metres of a children's playground and a sports field where local sports are played is just absurd. With no scientific evidence available on 5G being safe, it is a huge risk that Council will be taking to expose their citizens to much higher levels of radiation in the atmosphere. There is already substantial and convincing amount of scientific studies that show many adverse health effects and health hazards from electromagnetic frequency radiation that is emitted from 4G, 5G towers and small cells. I'm very happy to share these studies with you in additional reading. I call Telstra's offer to pay for the installation of the light pole corporate bribery. $17,000 return a year to Council and paying for 1 light pole. Council are underestimating the value of this land and how much locals value their surroundings. 2. APHANSA, the regulatory body we rely on for radiation standards. In all correspondence I have engaged with members of Parliament of various levels, I am always referred back to the regulatory body who sets the standard, APHANSA. They are the regulatory body responsible for setting the radiation guidelines and who we are told are our most trusted source of information. Why is it then that APHANSA publicly state their disclaimer on their website? Arpanza does not accept any liability for any injury, loss, or damage incurred by use of reliance on the information provided on this website. With a disclaimer like this, how can we really trust that Arpanza have the best interests of Australians in mind? Who is responsible for compliance and checking? Where is this captured? It is not currently publicly made available. How can we continue the rollout of 5G without basic checking systems in place? Numerous questions have been asked regarding this to Arpanza, and no information provided as yet. The levels set by Arpanza are up to 100 times higher than other countries around the world. I have also been told by local and state politicians that the rollout of 5G is a federal issue. Whilst the rollout is federal, let's be very clear that this is a local issue. It affects local communities, local people. What I ask of Council here tonight is to listen carefully to the community concerns and not underestimate the power of our concern due to the limited number of people who are able to be present here tonight. We have over 60 local residents of Oak Park who have expressed concern about the rollout of 5G and have signed a petition to this effect. Just last week, Byron Bay Council voted for a moratorium on 5G in their shire after public outcry about a Telstra tower proposal forced them to listen to their community. This decision was largely driven by just too many unknowns about 5G technology being available. When will our community and government leaders wake up and think about this issue critically? How long do we have to wait to be listened to and taken seriously? When will our Australian leaders start to look beyond their own backyards and rely on scientific evidence, look at the big picture, and start to listen to other cities and countries around the world who are halting their 5G rollout using the precautionary principle? Our fellow humans, wildlife and plants are not guinea pigs to be experimented on. 4, there is no insurance company in the world who is willing to insure an organisation against the risks of the 5G rollout. Lloyd's of London state publicly, the Lloyd's of London and its underwriter CFC Underwriting Limited exclude any liability coverage for claims directly or indirectly rising out of, resulting from, or contributed to by electronic magnetic fields, electronic magnetic radiation, electromagnetic radiation, radio waves or noise. If Lloyd's of London and its underwriter are unwilling to insure, councillors will become personally liable of any future claims. I am sure you would agree that is something to be concerned about. 5, councils exist to protect the well-being of all its citizens and to make decisions to enhance the well-being of all citizens, not knowingly expose them to harmful emissions. Look around the world at what other brave, courageous councils are deciding about 5G. The list is growing longer every day of councils who are halting their rollout of 5G until the science says that it's safe. A quote from Brussels: "The people of Brussels are not guinea pigs whose health I can sell at a profit. We cannot leave anything to doubt." And that comes from Environment Minister Celine Fremont, who has stated that publicly. It takes a brave leadership group not to follow the pack, to think critically about issues that could have long-lasting effects. It takes a brave leadership group to take a stand and really think about the purpose of why you are in positions of power. I urge Moreland Council to be brave, consider the well-being of its citizens and pause the rollout of 5G by applying the precautionary principle until more scientific evidence is available, and follow in Byron Bay Council's footsteps. Thank you for your time.
So, I'll also like to welcome Councillor Helen David to the hearing. Welcome, Councillor. Now I would like to call upon Karen Harvey-Collins, who was asked to phone in, I believe, and to speak. So is that technology available?
So while we're waiting for that, could I ask Melissa one question?
Yes, Councillor Kavanagh.
Sorry, Melissa, thank you for your submission. Which council did you mention? I'm sorry, you mentioned a council in your presentation. Which council was that again? Byron Bay. Thank you so much.
Okay, so is Karen going to join us online? Is that right? Or
Okay, thank you.
okay, Karen, welcome to the meeting. We can hear you.
Thanks.
Would you please
So, can I
like to make
introduce
your
myself?
submission?
So having not heard anything that's gone before,
I just welcomed you to the meeting and asked you to please make your submission. Thank you.
so I assume I should introduce myself.
Please do.
So I'm an organisational psychologist by training, and I'm also a member of the Australian Institute of Company Directors. And more importantly, perhaps, I'm a resident in Oak Park. So we live immediately adjacent to John Pascoe Faulkner Reserve. The proposed site of the tower is within 150 metres of our home. The first thing that I put in my submission was about my disappointment at not being contacted about the proposal and only finding out through word of mouth. Because we live so close to it, I would have expected that our street would have been included in the consultation. Secondly, the lack of plans and details about the proposed mobile phone tower. It was extremely difficult to get hold of any information about it, even after I had heard it was happening. So the details of that location, the elevation, I did eventually find some of it, but not all of it was available on the website. My main concern, though, is actually about how close it is, not just to our residents, but to a children's playground. It's right beside a children's playground. I've just been over the back fence 5-10 minutes ago, and there's at least 2 families within the vicinity of that tower. I understand that the sporting associates aren't concerned about it, but I really feel that for other residents it has the potential to have an impact. Can I assume that you've read my submission?
Yes.
Because the echo that I'm hearing makes it really difficult to talk.
Okay. So can you just repeat that, Karen, that question?
It wasn't a question. It was I asked that you'd read my submission because the echo was making it really difficult for me to concentrate on what I was saying.
Yes. Look, councillors do have a copy of this submission, so you're welcome to highlight any specific points that you wish to highlight in the few minutes that you have remaining.
Okay, thank you. Probably the main one, other than the potential health effects, are around the potential depreciation on the value of our property, of our home, because it's going to be in the line of sight to where we live.
Okay. Okay. Yep. Was there any other points?
No, it's very difficult, and I admit that our mobile phone reception is dreadful here. So even in our household, there's disconnection as to what we should be doing with regards to this tower, because my husband thinks it's a brilliant idea because we'll get good phone reception. However, we've had NBN delivered to the street, so that actually should have improved our internet, and it didn't. So I'm more concerned about the potential health impacts, and that there's no studies to show that it is going to be safe, and it does get that we're in such an age of anxiety that the levels of stress that come with these sorts of risk factors just seem untenable.
Okay, thank you. Were there any final concluding remarks, Karen, or should I see if councillors have any questions?
See if there are any questions.
Councillors? No? Councillor Kavanagh.
Karen, you mentioned that your property is very close to the proposed tower. Would you know how many metres your property is from that?
Be within 150 metres. When I just walked over there now, it was about 150 paces.
Okay, thank you so much.
We are immediately, because the new cricket nets that went up recently are right behind our property.
Okay, thank you so much. I know where you are. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Karen, for your submission. We will move on now. Our last submitter this evening is Vicky Nguyen, who is here to speak. Vicky, can you please step forward? Thank you.
Firstly, for allowing me this opportunity to talk to you and share my concerns. My name is Vicky Nguyen. I'm here as a resident of Winifred Street, Oak Park. I've been living in Oak Park for 30 years. I'm a director of a food business and a mother to 2 children, 13 and 17, who are here tonight. I'm here to share some information with you that may assist you with your decision and help you realise that this should not be approved. The proposed tower is to be erected in JP Fawkner Reserve. My house is only 120 metres from this proposed site, and there are many other homes which surround this area and that back onto this reserve. We built our home in 2009, and before that process we engaged a building biologist to come out and assess the land and the area which we were going to build on. We are a very health conscious family. Being close to the Essendon airport was a big concern for us, so he measured the electromagnetic radiation of the proposed site. And despite the proximity to the airport, there was a low EMR reading, whereby we agreed indeed it was a beautiful location which would be ideal to raise a family, and so we built our dream home. The Telstra proposal at 1A Francis Street stipulates it will take up approximately 2 car park spaces. This indicates it's likely to be a live 5G large tower, which would sit merely 2 metres away from the newly built children's playground. There is also it's right in the middle of 2 very well-used sporting ovals, only metres away from 2 football clubs, the Oak Park Tennis Club, the walking track and the bike track. This entire area is a hub for children, for families and clubs to gather. Oak Park is known for the beautiful nature which surrounds us. There is a lot of wildlife in the area, including birds, where avid bird watchers come to observe. To bring you up to speed with 5G technology, in case you don't know, it is millimetre frequency that has military precision. It is super fast. However, to maintain its seamless, instantaneous transmissions, it requires more cell towers to allow information to travel at speeds up to 1,000 times faster than previously achievable. It is so powerful, it is said to, quote unquote, cook the eyeballs like they were eggs. It causes breaks in single and double DNA strands. It causes cancer, birth defects, heart and brain tumours, and so on. If you agree to allowing this large tower to be erected, it will then require smaller cells to be placed in close proximity around our suburb, on street signs, lamp poles, buildings, etc., which will be relatively small and inconspicuous, but necessary to ensure the transmissions are seamless. These cells receive and transmit a form of electromagnetic field called radio frequency radiation or microwave radiation. Some antennas will need to be just metres away from each other. One could be installed right out front of your home. If you decide to go ahead with this, then all liability rests with you as councillors. Currently, we have over 80 signatures now on our petition, and as the awareness grows, so too does this list of people. We are currently preparing 24 residents to get blood tests done prior to any installation. And if this does go ahead, we'll be retesting. If there is a trend change across the group of these people, there'll be numerous class actions against you. Telstra has tried to sell this to you by creating a lighting plan for one of the football ovals and funding some of the lighting. But offering Moreland Council only $17,000 per year is an insult when you realise just how much Telstra will make on selling to other telcos. There are plenty of other ways to generate revenue rather, if that's what you're looking for. Have you been informed regarding what the safe levels of radiation are? Has Telstra even provided you with the detailed information on what their plan is? On the research regarding the health implications even, or from the studies done from independent scientists, not just their own? Sure, the speeds of faster downloads is very attractive for people. However, at what cost? Allowing this technology to be used without proving its safety is reckless in the extreme. The millimetre waves are known to have a profound effect on every part of the human body. It will irradiate everyone. young children, pregnant women, unborn children, the elderly, the disabled, the chronically ill. Thousands of studies link radio frequency radiation to many diseases, whereby even the World Health Organization classifies cell tower type radiation as a class 2B carcinogen, which means it's cancer causing. There are some serious concerns about this type of untested technology and its effects on the skin, the eyes, the immune system, the birds, insects and plants. Did you know that right now there are 20,000 5G satellites that have been launched into space, creating a web-like structure over our Earth? Did you know that even right now there are 650 5G towers that are going up as we speak, and most of these are on hospitals, shopping centres and buildings where the public have not even been notified, as they are simply upgrades to existing sites? Did you know that Australia's safe levels of this technology are already 5 times higher than other countries? And did you also know that 26,000 scientists signed a petition to prevent the rollout of 5G and requested further testing on the health implications on humans and the environment? I urge you all to please think about the health and safety of yourself and your residents. It is your duty to protect us, the community, from harmful electromagnetic radiation emitted by consumer products and related infrastructure. If you do require any further information to help with this decision, I have a list of great resources. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Vicky. Councillors, are there any questions? No? Okay, thank you very much for your submission. That's the last of our submitters tonight. So once again, everyone, thank you for your submissions and your time tonight. We appreciate the time and effort everyone has taken to show up and present verbally, but also in your written submissions. As I said earlier, no decision will be made tonight. A report will be presented to the next council meeting for council's consideration. In making a decision about the proposal, council will consider the submissions received and what has been presented here tonight. You will be advised of the council meeting date in advance. On that note, I would like to declare this meeting closed and thank you all once again for your attendance.